Ma'am, we are live now.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you. My name is Rabjot Kaur. Welcome back to another session at Leap. Welcome Harjot, Ramchandra, Sumed, Param. Good evening to each one of you. How is your score going on, Harjot? Pooja? I can see familiar names. Good to see you back. Did you get a chance to practice? Great, great. Well done. Well done. Good evening, Sanjana. Good evening to each one of you. So today's session is all about talk with the topper. I'm going to welcome him in a while. Can you not hear me? I think you can hear me properly.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Of course, Harjot, as I can read it correctly, that you need practice. Proper focus, concentration is really required for that, right? And we cannot afford to lose even a single band, even a half band. So practice is required, right? All right. So I welcome you all again. And as I always keep saying that it's really easy to score 8 and 9 bands in listening and reading, and they are very scoring. And if you put a little bit of more hard work, you can score good in speaking and writing as well. So there are some of the myths that are associated with IELTS, and I'm sure you know about them. Yeah, and to clarify that, students are confused which website to opt, which website will be beneficial for us for IELTS. So have you also searched some of the websites like that? Have you? Harjot, Siddharth, Pooja, Sarthak, Smith. Yes, so we all do, right? To reach out to the best place, and we don't know which one is authentic and which one is going to be beneficial for the IELTS preparation. And I'm sure Leap will be one of them. So to save your money, to save your time, you must have gone through these websites and they're speaking and writing, whether they check their writings, your writings or not, whether they're going to check your speaking or not, or are they charging anything extra? How much amount they're charging in dollars. So to save money and to save your time, LeapScholar always keep coming with the fantastic courses and with different time slots, with cheap prices as well, so that everyone can afford these courses and you can join these batches, right? As per your schedule, as per your time. Is it 2 weeks? Is it 4-week batch? Even I've taken 4-day of writing. Even I've taken 4-day of reading sessions as well. Only 4 days, for 4 days. And students got really brilliant scores. So now two of these batches are introduced recently by Leap, and I'll be driving them. So one of the batch is starting at, tomorrow. It's starting from tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. So it's starting from tomorrow, and the other one is starting from Monday. So everything is equal number of hours will be provided. Weekly mock tests will be given to you. Extra study material is provided. Speaking evaluations, writing evaluations will be there. Even grammar classes are also there. Grammar classes are also conducted as per the level of IELTS also. So please book the slots, and as I mentioned, you can book as per your convenience, whether 4-week or 2 weeks, or whether evening time suits you, 6 to 7, or morning 8 to 9:30 suits you. So one is starting from tomorrow and other one is starting from 13th of September. So this is the last offer, because any which ways my batch is starting from tomorrow. But when you booking the course, you have to use this code RKLive20 to get the discount. Ideally, the course is for 149, but right now it's for 119. Right? So please join this course and avail the services, amazing services of that. Now, since I said that it's easy to score when you practice, it's easy to achieve 8 and 9 band scores in reading and listening. But I really want to introduce someone special here. His name is Aditya Jain, and who will share his experience of achieving an overall 8 band scores. How was his journey achieving that score? And it will be such a privilege that today I'll be sharing the YouTube live session with Aditya Jain. Aditya, are you here? All right, so I welcome Aditya. Thank you so much for coming, Aditya. Can you help Aditya to...
Yeah, hi Aditya, can you hear me?
Hello, am I audible?
You're audible? Yeah. Okay, yes, Aditya,
Okay,
but we
great.
can't see you.
1 second, I'll have to. My laptop's throwing an error showing that I can't start my video.
Can we move him to panelist? I mean, I don't know what to do.
He's the panelist only.
Okay.
My laptop's showing an error that it's failing to start the video camera. I think I won't be able to start my video.
That's perfectly fine then, Aditya. Let's welcome you again. So thank you so much for joining. I know you are the busiest person I know, and thank you so much for coming here. And yeah, if you can introduce a bit about yourself and share your band scores individually.
Thank you, Ravjot, for having me here. My name is Dr. Aditya. I'm a junior doctor currently working as an intern in the Himalayan Institute of Medical Sciences. And I recently gave my IELTS and I scored a aggregate score of 8. And my individual scores were, I scored a 7 in my writing module, a 7.5 in my speaking, a 9 in my reading, and 8.5 in my listening.
So 9 in reading, do you know that's a dream score for every student? Was a dream score for you as well, or you knew that I'm going to get 9?
I had been getting around 8.5 in my practice test. I had not scored 9, but yeah, I was pretty surprised when I got a perfect score in my reading. It was one of the weakest part of my preparation, so I was quite surprised.
Oh, great. So did you opt for computer-based or paper-based? I think students want to know so many things from you. So did you opt for computer-based or paper-based?
So funny story, I had booked my paper through British Council and I had booked a computer-based test, but unfortunately due to some issues it got cancelled and I had to book another test through IDP, and the closest date that was available that was for a paper-based test. So I would have preferred computer-based test because I'm more comfortable with typing and not writing. But I had to then, due to the circumstances, I had to go for the paper-based test, which was okay. It was not very difficult because I'm used to writing answers in my college. But yeah, I would have preferred computer-based.
Oh, great. If that would be computer based, then what you have done, you must have got 9 on 9 in all modules then, right? I'm expecting that score. So, okay, Nitin wants to know how much time you spent in IELTS in a whole day. Wow. So, guys, you can keep posting your questions. I'll ask whenever we could. Yeah, Nitin is asking this, that how you spend time.
So, Nitin, I spent around an hour or two in the preparation. I get free by 4 after my shift at the hospital, and then I attended ma'am's class from 7:30 to 8:30, I suppose. And after that, I spent around an hour or half in the practice papers, and that was it. For around 2 weeks, I did this. I followed this schedule.
So, how did you start your preparation? Is it after joining the LEAP batch, or you were prepared earlier also?
When I had decided that I will be giving my IELTS, I started Googling and started searching for YouTube videos to, gain more knowledge about the pattern of the exam and what kind of competency that I would be requiring to score a 7.5. And it was then when I came across LeapScholar, and I thought that it would be, a good coaching, and it showed a course of 2 weeks. So I thought that my paper is 3 weeks later, and I'll be well prepared by then.
Yeah, so we were just talking about these websites, and students are really skeptical whether these websites are authentic or not. So we were just having discussion on these websites also. So were you also skeptical when you joined the course, at how cheap it is? What are they going to teach? How they're going to teach? Were you also skeptical like that?
Yeah, exactly. I was quite skeptical because, the kind of ads that pop up in Facebook, pass IELTS in rupees 59 only and 100 only. So I was quite skeptical. But I had all my doubts cleared when I joined the first class in LeapScholar. The kind of interaction that LeapScholar provides was just amazing, and it was beyond my expectation.
Wow. So that was the introductory class we had, right? And we started with the speaking. So then so on and so forth. So that was the first class, is always introductory.
The first class.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah. So do you want to give any special tips to these beginners? Because there are many beginners here who are watching you live right now. So what special tips you want to give to them? Because they're afraid of reading. We'll talk about them as well, one by one. But what special tips you have for them?
I think the first step would be to understand what the exam asks of us. What is the pattern of the exam, and what kind of, basically, you should be familiar with the scoring parameters. After that, you can start preparing, because the kind of review I received after I received my score was that the IELTS exam, basically, they do not want very superfluous language or very advanced English. They are trying to test the very basic, that we are able to use very basic English, and we are able to use it correctly. So first of all, I would like to advise that they should understand the pattern of the exam.
Yes, yes. So we did talk about this in yesterday's session as well. And I think, of course, they always hear me and listen me, but you're adding more weightage to it, that they should do this. And I think they're listening to you very attentively, and they are going to do the same thing. So according to you, since you achieved good in reading and a very good score in listening as well, you scored good in writing and speaking. But what is the toughest module you think was for you when you started? Did you think reading was most toughest, or writing, or listening, or speaking?
For me personally, I think reading was the toughest, because because of my training, I am used to reading medical based books more, and not like fiction and non-fiction books. So I had lost touch with that kind of English.
Hmm. All right, all right. So, but you scored 9 in reading. How did you manage to score that then? You managed to score 9 in reading.
Regular basis.
You break.
So basically, am I audible?
Yes, now you are. Yes.
Yeah, so reading, basically, I practiced all the mock tests that LeapScholar had provided. And 2 to 3 days before my paper was scheduled, I did all the practice papers in the Cambridge books. So the Cambridge books basically provide a very good, view that what would be expected in the exam. They are the kind of questions that are asked are quite similar to what I got in my main paper.
Yes, the exact pattern is there and the difficulty levels are described in different books. So that's why Cambridge books are always recommended. And what was the, actually students do take a few of the modules very lightly. So which module do you think that most of the students take lightly? Do you think they should do so? They should take things lightly for IELTS?
I think that writing is the module I took lightly because I was being overconfident and I thought that my writing is very good and I would be able to score 7.5, even 8 easily. But I got a band of 7, which was the bare minimum that I needed. And so I think writing is the module that should be focused more because it can make or break your score. And listening and reading by practice, you can achieve a score of 8.5 easily. But writing is something that you need practice daily. Only then in the paper, because you get about only an hour. And in the real exam also, I found myself short of time, to think of ideas. So writing is something that you should practice so that in the
Aditya can't hear you now.
Ma'am, I think he's facing some connectivity issues. That's why he's not able to turn on his video also.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, can hear you now.
Sorry, I got cut off. My internet's very poor here in the place I live.
Okay. All right. All right. That's okay. So you were saying something and we lost you.
Okay, so where was I cut off?
Okay. Anyway, so I really want to know about the reading test. So when you were preparing for reading, because here in this session, because I'm taking the session from last 2 days and this is the third session. So students have been asking a lot of questions related to reading. They have time management problem. They have problem in true, false, not given, multiple choice, list of headings. How did you do these questions? Can you talk a bit about these questions in reading? Did you get these questions in the test as well? How did you tackle them? Because you scored 9 on 9 in reading.
Yeah, so even I faced some problems with the true or false type questions. And I think there are many videos over YouTube, and even ma'am has explained the correct strategy to achieve that. And basically, you need practice for true and false questions. There is no getting around the fact. In reading section, I think time was not much of an issue for me. I was able to read quickly. And I think it's just practice. Reading is purely practice. The more questions you do, the more confident you will become. In the paper, the main dilemma that arises is whether the question that we are selecting is, two or more options always seem to be correct in the paper.
True.
So it is basically you have to eliminate the options that you know that are not correct. And then you have to make a, you have to make a guess that this
Yes.
could be the right answer.
We call a process of elimination. Yes, that exactly we need for multiple choice questions as well. Yes. And what about the listening? The test always starts with listening, then reading, then writing. So the listening was smooth for you. You even scored 8.5 in listening. Only
Yeah,
hard
listening.
must be correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so listening in the center that I gave the exam, we were provided with good quality headphones. So listening was not an issue. The thing is, in listening, once you have to be very, confident, and you have to. If you miss a question, you don't have to dwell on that. Just move on to the next question, because you will get ample time to review your answers. Because once you get lost in the flow, and if you miss a question, then getting back is becomes quite difficult. So I would suggest that instead of focusing on the question that you have left, just keep on listening and focus on the questions that are coming ahead.
So you went to the test center twice, one for speaking and other time you went for listening, reading, writing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are they following the protocol of COVID-19? Is it safe to visit?
Yeah, we were temperature checks were done, and everyone, it was mandatory to wear masks, and everybody was sanitized before they were allowed to enter the center, and social distancing was also followed. So no issues about that.
All right. All right. And what about the test day when you went for the test? Were you a day before the test? Were you practicing, or were you did nothing and you were just chilling around? You were not thinking about the test at all, or you watched a lot of English videos or Netflix, or what did you do exactly a day before the test? Just an advice to students if you want to give, because they panic a lot, anxiety, nervousness is there. So what do you suggest?
Yeah, so I was very anxious before the paper, because it was my second time that I was giving the paper.
Okay.
And I would suggest that take ample rest, because you need a lot of concentration in this paper. And the only thing that I studied a day before the paper was that I looked at some useful vocabulary module that was provided by LeapScholar. That was it. And yeah, I just relaxed and took ample rest.
Okay, and let's talk about writing now. So how to improve writing skills? What did you practice? How did you practice the writing? Did you learn the sample responses from the internet? Did you copy paste anything from the internet? How did you practice writing?
So first of all, I understood the format of the each question very properly, that which type of question demands what kind of format, like what should I write in advantages and disadvantages answer, what should I in the writing section one, what should be the proper format. I think that is the most important part of the paper. The content, basically, they don't need a very imaginative content and imaginative vocabulary. What they need is proper grammar, and just very specific vocabulary that is required, not anything that is superfluous. So in the writing section, basically, I did a lot of questions from the Cambridge books, and I also practice by reading some articles that are connected with some political aspects, also some with gender equality, like these topics which are which have a higher probability of coming. So I just prepared a read small articles that would help me generate ideas in the real paper.
Okay, and the vocabulary, the complex sentences, did you follow all that as well? But you took it lightly, as you saying. That's why you got stuck at 7. Otherwise, you would have scored 8 bands, right?
Yeah, I thought that my writing would. I had in school when I'm an ICC student. So in school, I was, very fluent in writing these long answers. 300 400 words, but because I had lost touch with the pattern of the school and exams, so the most difficult thing that I found on in the real exam was that I wasn't able to complete the word count. I was finding it difficult to come up with ideas and fill up my body paragraphs. So I
So that
think that
needs
was
practice. Mm.
yeah, that needs practice. You need to read and read some articles, and even you have to get in the flow of writing, so
Yes.
that you will be able to write around 200 to 50 words in the real exam. Otherwise it becomes quite difficult.
Hmm. And due to the time constraint, overall 1 hour will be given to you. There will not be any extra time. The moment you run out of time, this computer screen will be logged and the examiner will snatch the sheets. Even if you're still writing, they'll cross that mark. So you have to be very careful when it comes to time management. So what do you think, Aditya? What is the correct time when a student can take IELTS exam according to you? When they should prepare? Do you think they should book the test date first and then they should start preparing, or they should do it vice versa?
This is, I think, very subjective and depends on the level of English that you are coming from. But I think before booking your test date, you should go through the exam pattern and understand that where you stand. And I would also advise you doing at least one practice paper and getting it marked by someone, so you know where you stand, and then you can book your, if you require 1 month or 2 months, or even if you require 2 weeks, go ahead and book the test. But before booking the test, I think you should spend around a week or more on understanding the pattern and doing at least one practice test. That is what I did.
Yes, so practice is required, diligent practice, and you have to stay disciplined. Whether you want to book the test and then you want to be disciplined, you can do that. Or you want to practice first and then you want to book the test, that's up to you. So overall idea is to practice and then give the test, right? And yeah, so what is the advice that you want to give them for speaking? What is the cue card that you got? So because they're always afraid of cue card questions. So what was your cue card question?
Yeah, so I got a cue card that required me to describe an recent visit to a local market.
Hmm.
So uh, I had to speak about it for 2 minutes, and obviously I had to, create something out of imagination. I haven't been, matlab, I haven't been to the local market or for quite some time. Um, Actually, while solving the Cambridge papers, I had found a similar kind of speaking cue card question in the book itself. So I had some idea about what I would speak, and the 1 minute that preparation that is provided, I jot down some points, and I was able to as as I had planned. The follow-up questions, though, were nice, and the examiner is very supportive, and they don't try to, make you anxious and lower your confidence. And they also help you out if you, stutter at some point, or if you are unable to come up with any, ideas. They quickly move on to the other question or try to, support you. So speaking, basically, you have to make your speaking error-free, without using very superfluous language or anything.
True.
You should be fluent and error free. That is what is required in the exam.
Right, right. What about fluency? Were you fluent when you were speaking? Did you use good vocabulary words? Did you get a sheet when you got a cue card question? Did you get some time to prepare a sheet and the pencil?
Yeah, exactly. The first examiner showed me the cue card, and then provided a pen and paper to me, and then the timer was started. So people don't have to worry that once the cue card is given, the timer will start, and they won't have enough time. You will get enough time. I didn't even use my 1 minute uh, wholly. So that the preparation time is not an issue. You just have to, in your mind itself, you have to frame an answer, and just follow a kind of flow chart that you will speak these points, and I think you would be okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for sharing the experience. Anything else you want to say to these students who are still asking the questions? But yes, I really want to thank you for coming. But before you go, can you say something to these students who are still preparing, who are still nervous for the preparation? What advice you would like to give to them at the end?
Yeah, so I would advise that be prepared properly. The exam basically tests very basic English, so don't worry that your English is not very good and you are not able to use very, great vocabulary, or you have to use good words, but they should be grammatically correct. And I think time management is very important in this exam because you get very specific amounts for time for each module. So uh, practice basically, when you practice before the exam, in the real exam, everything is obviously tougher than the practice. So always practice a level above what you're aiming.
Yes, yes. Nitin is asking, in which country are you in, Aditya?
Hi Nitin, I live in India. I come from Dehradun, which is in Uttarakhand.
Wow. Nice question, Nitin. Nice. Thank you so much. I thank you so much for sharing your experience with students, Aditya, and making them confident on what LEAP provides and what you have done so far. I think it is going to help them at a greater extent. And I really want to congratulate you on behalf of the entire LEAP team. And I want you to be confident and positive whatever you do in your future. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for taking time. And I salute you for being a doctor and you're still working in this COVID situation. Thank you so much, Aditya.
Thank you, ma'am, for having me here. It was a pleasure. And yeah, I would always be here to support anyone who is, requires any assistance.
So sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aditya, for this. Thank you. Thank you. And here was Aditya who answered all your queries. Nitin, that was very nice question. Hardik, in speaking, naturally, if you're taking pauses, that's perfectly fine. But then if you're hesitating, like these hesitations should be avoided. But still, if you have time to practice, I believe you can practice and avoid such making such errors, right? So please please register yourself for these batches, upcoming batches. One is starting from tomorrow and the other one is starting from Monday. I hope you already got the details. And one is for 2 weeks and 4 weeks. I hope you all now well aware about it. So join the batch as per your convenience and please keep practicing. Please look at the link. Do not forget to add this RK Live 20. That's the code to get the 20% discount. So to get 119, this course is for 119 rupees. So please join it as early as possible. Yeah, that's okay, Nitin. That's perfectly fine. Even a single or silly doubt is perfect for me. That's okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And do not forget to join to download the application IELTS Prep by LeapScholar. And please like the video, subscribe it, and share it to those who need. As Aditya has shared his experience wonderfully, please share it to those who really need the motivation. Please go ahead and check that. All right. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for listening to Aditya. Thank you so much for being a part. Happy learning to each one of you. Please join the course as early as possible and be confident. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.